Hi guys, this is Jenny from Art by Jenny K. I am back to work on the sewing journal that I started with you in the last video. So I have this sewing book, you might remember, and we went through and tore out pages and created space for pockets. It's going to be mostly a pocket journal. So then we'll decorate all the pockets and then we'll fill the pockets with cool stuff, you know, like tags and little booklets and things that we can journal on and all kinds of little ephemera. I have some snaps, vintage snaps, and some old buttons we can put on some stuff. So in this video, we are going to start putting the pockets down, gluing the pockets down. Last time, remember, we folded pages to make pockets and then we tore out pages in between to take out some of the bulk from the book. So we are now going to attach those pockets so that we can get to the fun stuff, which is decorating. So I read that when you are gluing things down in a book, in an altered book, that you should start from the back. And so we're going to start from the back and do that. And I see that I have folded this page the wrong direction. So we'll fix that. And we have the fold there. We just have to fold it under so that we're not going to see it. And you can take off some of that bulk, and I'll probably do some of that today as well. So this will be, I'll do a few pages and then we'll speed it up so that we can, you don't have to sit through watching me do them all, of course, because it's the same process. And I forgot to get some scissors, which I should have. Okay, so I just have a couple of different kinds of glue that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use a glue stick, and I just kind of have just a regular innocuous glue stick for this, because the part I'm going to use the glue stick on, if it comes up around the edges a little bit, that's okay. When I go back and decorate the pages, I will fix it at that point. Right now I just want to get it kind of something attached to it. And then I have some 3-in-1 craft glue that I will be using to actually adhere the pocket. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of bulk here, and it's probably a good idea to take some of that off. We don't need all of that. It's going to be hidden, so we just want to provide a nice edge there. So I'm just going to whack some of that off, and you can see I am not worrying too much about whether or not it's straight or anything else. And we'll just glue that edge down just to provide an edge. So that gives us an edge here. Oops. Not sure I got enough white glue on that. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. So this is our first pocket's a double pocket in the back. And we just don't need all of that book. So I'm sorry I keep turning the book here, but it's just easier to work on, I think. And we can save those pieces. We might use them for something else. I'm not too worried. We have all of the pages we tore out to work with. And the fun part, of course, is going to be when we get to decorate all of the pockets and make all the cool stuff to go in the pockets. That's the best part. Okay. All right. So I have decided that I would like a little bit of, difference between the back of the pocket and the pocket, the top of it. And this one has, two, so a little bit of difference here. So I'm going to leave, on some of them, I'm going to leave it so you can see the back page, and I'm going to cover part of this so that you see something else and you see maybe something else here. And in order to do that, I have pattern pieces that are sheer, of course. They're printed on tissue paper, as pattern pieces will be. But they do have, you know, a distinctive color and feel to them. And so my thought was that on some of them we might cover the back page so you would see something like that, or maybe this part. I'm going to show you kind of what I'm thinking, so that you would see something like that between them, that sort of thing. And I have a couple of different patterns here. I have quite a few patterns that I have saved and picked up and things like that. And they are a couple of different colors actually even. So you can see that one is a little bit darker. This is an old McCall's and this is a Simplicity. And they were printed on a little bit different color, or the age has, you know, changed them a little bit. So that's kind of nice that we will have some contrast with that. So let's start. And two, I want to be able to see, since this is a sewing themed book and we've used an actual sewing themed book, I want to see things on the back, right? Now I'm not so sure I care too much about the index there, so maybe we could cover some of that. So we only need to cover, you know, from the page over to where this is going to be glued down, which is here and across here, so that the pocket will be open here. So it won't take too much of that. And that's really why I have the glue stick, because I thought it would be easier to use a glue stick to apply pattern pieces than it would be, and we can cut some of that off. So than it would be to use white glue. And I think this is going to be honestly a little bit fiddly just because it's a pattern piece, and so I'm thinking I just want to start at the edge of the page. Not quite so much, maybe at the bottom. And then we can tuck it or cut it off or tear it, as the case may be. So, and really, I really only need the triangle part, but it seems that it would be, I think, easier to just glue the page down. You know what, I think I want a piece of scrap paper. Something behind there so that I don't get glue. So it would help if I brought it all with me. Something behind there so that I don't get glue on the page underneath. So then I can kind of stick that out and glue to the edge. And so I don't have to worry then about getting glue on the pages underneath. Okay. I think I had it, not sure which way I had it, I'm not sure it matters. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because it's tissue, it's going to be a little wrinkly. But I'm not sure I care too much about whether it's very wrinkly. I think I care more that it has a piece of pattern on it so it fits with the theme. And we can come back and trim off those pieces. I just want to be sure I get them stuck down, don't get any glue over here because that's part of my pocket. So let's see how that would look. Oh, so that's going to be a nice little contrast. So, and then it kind of covers up, you can still see the index, but it's not glaringly indexed. And then maybe we can put a piece of a different color, that other color of pattern. pop some off here. Maybe we can put a piece of a different color on this. Maybe I want it on that front piece, so there's more contrast. Yep, I think I'm going to want it on the front piece. Okay, and the other thing I want to do before I glue this down is I want to ink the edges. And I was thinking about it, and it is kind of a vintage book. It's a 1970s book. So that's not, you know, so vintage that it would have to be necessarily antique photo or something. And I was thinking about it might be fun to ink in different colors on different pages, but I'm not really sure. So I have this set of Distress inks, and part of me thinks I should just use the pink stuff and it would be fun, but part of me thinks maybe might be a little overkill. I'm not really sure. So we'll start with something a little less bright maybe. So let's start with some peeled paint, because I think it would be fun if we, you know, if we're going to have this edge showing, we're not covering this one, that we could ink the edge. So I think the fiddly part about this project is that because I'm using an altered book, everything is kind of, you know, everything's attached, not kind of attached, it is attached. So that makes it maybe a little harder to deal with at times. So maybe we kind of, you know, need to be a little more, pull our, oh, see, I did get some glue there. Pull our paper here so we can kind of, maybe we need to, you know, be a little more thinking ahead of what we might do with something like this before we glue it down. And I said I was just going to ink the edge, but we're going to see some of that, so that's kind of nifty. Maybe maybe we'll just go ahead and ink it and let it be a little bit of contrast there with the green. We'll just go with it. Why not? I have been kind of putting this off because I've been a little worried that I would, you know, make the wrong decision and stuff, and I think that happens to all of us. We look at it, and this is a project that I have wanted to do for a while, so I want to make sure that it's right, meaning it's the way I envisioned it. And, you know, I just had to come to terms with the idea that it's just paper, and sometimes, you know, it doesn't work out the way you think it's going to, but that doesn't make it wrong, and it doesn't make it bad. It just means you have to go with what you have. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what I am attempting to do here. I'm just going to try to go with what I have. And I like that kind of green. I think that's kind of nice. So that's going to look nice, and then we'll put that different pattern paper on top of this. Yep. And I'm not sure, can we tear that? Maybe it'd just be easier to cut it. I think it might just be easier to trim off this paper we have here. Oh, hello, there's one of my cats. This is Kid. Okay, well, my cat Kid that I was telling you about just knocked my whole camera over. So that is pretty par for the course for Kid. She sometimes just, you know, if you're not doing what she thinks you should be doing, then she just decides to change what you're doing. Okay, that's not gonna, I'm gonna have to do it from this side, I think, just because logistically I can't reach the other side. Okay. All right, and see there, I just took off a little bit of the page, and I shouldn't have. I should have just taken that. as I said, I think the book might be a little fiddly, and you can see I've kind of not quite gotten it glued. And when I come back and decorate the pages, I will check all of the glue and we will see how we're doing. All right, so at this point, I just need to glue down the pocket, and I want to make sure the pockets stay. Hello, kid. So I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue just along the edges, just to make sure that pocket stays put. Just a thin little line. Oh, and now she has decided to jump on top of my shelves over there. Well, I have makeshift shelves up made out of cardboard over the top of some bins. Let me see, I can show you. So I have some bins over there, and I have cardboard on them to keep her from playing in them, which you see she's knocked the cardboard off, and yeah. So she is a pill. She is really smart and she's a funny cat, but boy, she can be a little obnoxious. So we call her Kid E Cat for Wile E Coyote. Super genius. So if you remember the old Wile E Coyote cartoons, Wile E Coyote Super Genius was not always quite the super genius, and that's kind of Kid's MO. She's not quite the super genius she would have you believe. Oops, I think I tore this a little small because I want it to be here, but I would like a straight edge along there. Well, we can piece it. What the heck, right? Now it's just paper. Let's see if we piece it. What will we have? Like to have that straight edge on the side over there. So I just need to sort of cover up this corner. And it doesn't really matter if it matches exactly because we're going to decorate it anyway. I just didn't quite. I'm just struggling a little bit here today. Well, we'll cut off a piece up here because we know we don't need that. We're going to fold it over. That's going to fold, so there we go. That's what we'll do. We'll just cover the corner a little bit. Oh, so I was laughing with my husband today. There's a person I like to watch on YouTube. Her name is Pam, and she's from the Paper Outpost. And she has an adorable little puppy. And she talks to the puppy, and she shows the puppy on her videos. And she talks to the puppy, and she talks for the puppy. And so we were laughing today because we do that all the time for our cats. We have conversations with our pets. I'm pretty sure anybody who's a pet person does that. Although sometimes, you know, I wonder, and then I begin to think maybe I am just not quite all there. So, you know, we were laughing today, and now here she is down here making herself known to everybody. Now she's over there playing. What are you doing, kid? Oh, I'm just, you know, playing around over here, Mom. Just digging around. Okay. I want you to pay attention to me, but you're doing something else. So I'll be obnoxious until you do, which is her MO. So my day job is that I'm a teacher. So right now, this year I have been teaching remotely pretty much all year. If she's ever digging in my pen cup. I think she's just being, you know, she just wants to be the center of attention, of course. Anyway, so I've been teaching remotely. I've been assigned to remote students. Okay, I'm gonna have to go pick it up and take it away from her because she's throwing them everywhere. Come on, come here, kid. Come on. Get out. Stop. Oh, that's not the pens. Those are the paintbrushes. I see. Okay. Oh. So I have been assigned to remote students. And so I have worked remotely most of the year. So I have been home with my cats during the day, and they have gotten to be a little pest, and she's one of them. They like to walk on my computer keyboard, and we'll just fold these over. So they walk on my computer keyboard, and when I don't pay close enough attention to them, if they want me to pay attention, especially her, she will get up on a shelf that's near my computer, and there are some like 3D birthday cards, the kind that play music and have pop-up stuff that people have given me, and I keep them up there. I think they're pretty, and so they're on a shelf near my desk. So there they are on the shelf near my desk, and she decides when I'm not paying attention to her because, well, I'm teaching in class, which is my job. She decides frequently that I need to stop what I'm doing, and she will get up there and literally throw them off with her teeth. She gets up there, she picks them up with her teeth, and then she just throws them off. Don't you, kid? Are you sitting where they can see you? I bet not. I think you're off camera here. Yep, I think you're off camera. Okay. So I have just taken that tissue and turned it under the edges, on a couple of the edges, and then trimmed it a little bit on the other edge so that it has covered that triangle. And see, that looks pretty nice. So now we have the little bit darker. Look out, baby. Can you scoot over? Here. All right, come on. Scoot over. There you go. So we have the darker pattern piece here. And then we have inked this and attached that pocket. And now we're ready to attach this pocket. And it has the lighter piece. And you can still see the page underneath, which is nice. And so when we come back to decorate it, we can do a little collage on it on the front here, but we can leave some of it showing with the sewing directions, narrow hem and cutting hem and things like that. So we can just glue that bottom of that pocket down. This sounds very complicated when I'm looking at it. I think it's just because it's fiddly, and that's a term I picked up from watching other craft videos, right? Because people say it's fiddly. So let's put this under here because I don't want to squish out any glue. I'm just gonna press that down, make sure that's stuck. Okay, now we have a nice double pocket. So these are big pockets because they're the whole size of the page. So that's going to enable us to put lots of cool stuff in there. We can put some big tags. We can make some great big tags and put them in there. And that's going to be really nifty, I think. And so we're going to do the same thing here. This is another triple. Most of the pages, you might remember, are only single pockets. So, you know, if we flip this way, there's the spread where we have pockets, and then there's a spread. And then there's just a single pocket here facing each other. So you might remember that from the last video that we turned these and made some pockets. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this, although I think we're probably going to kick on the caffeine can just to speed this up so you don't have to watch me struggle to glue all this down in real time. or struggle with my cat who keeps throwing things off. So anyway, so we'll turn on the caffeine cam and get it going here so that it's a little quicker. Okay, so I can tell you, I have finished doing the pockets on the book, and we fast forwarded through part of it, but then we just turned off the camera and finished it. Mostly because it's one of those things that it just took a lot longer than I thought. I don't know if you've ever thought to yourself, gee, this is a good idea, and then you start it and you think, maybe it wasn't such a good idea. That's kind of how I'm feeling about this. I like how it looks, and I'm going to flip through and show you all the pockets and how they look, but boy, was it kind of a pain to do it. So the first one, you watched me do these together, this, and then we kind of started speeding up here, and then there's a spread, And then we have pockets here, and I kind of did the opposite. I used some of the blue, I think it's peacock blue, or peacock feathers maybe. So we have a pocket here and a pocket here. And then we have that spread. Then we have a pocket here, and I put a little bit of there's a pocket, and I put a little of the pink ink underneath before I put the tissue on. So that I thought that looked kind of nice. And then here, a little different shade of pink, a little bit darker. And I went ahead and did both of the pockets here, and I did the edges in pink, and then I did some vintage photo on here. So it doesn't have quite as much contrast. Not sure I like the pages as much, but you know, when we decorate them, it'll be okay. This is just background. And so we have a pocket here. And so I just did kind of the little thumb hole with the ink. Then we have a pocket here. And I covered this page. There was a lot of text, and so I kind of just piecemealed some tissue on top of it just to give it some texture. And then it kind of wrapped around here, and we have here. And so you can see this is the darker tissue pattern, and then this one is the lighter one, so it didn't cover as much. And just a little bit of the kind of blue green there, that might have been the mint green. And then another double pocket with some kind of reddish pink around the edges. Like I said, I'm not really sure I love some of it, but since we're going to cover most of it up, decorating it, it's okay. Like when I go back to this one, I'm not sure I love that color, but by the time I load a bunch of stuff in here and put stuff here, you know, it's not gonna matter. It's gonna be fine. So again, here's a big pocket on this side. This has dual pockets, and it's some of the green. And it kind of just, you know, tones down so you're not looking at the book so much. You see the book is there, but that's not what you're looking at. Excuse me. I thought this pattern piece was kind of cool. It was, you know, it was part of it's like buttonholes as part of the neckline and stuff. So I thought it was kind of neat. Pocket here. And then again, I just kind of covered this page with some pieces, gathering lines, snaps. We have a slant pocket here, and then we have 2 pockets here. And I did kind of the same idea as I did on the back one. Only instead of doing these 2 pieces, I did the middle one. And again, I just kind of, some of the pages I covered in pattern pieces, and some of them I didn't. So big double pocket here with some pattern. I really liked seeing a little bit here with the McCalls. And then just kind of putting some pattern pieces on some of those pages. There's a big pocket here. Oops. 2 pockets here. Because this one had things about fabric and they were kind of bright colors, and you know, I decided I wanted to kind of tone those down. But I did use the 2 different colors of the pattern. So this is the Simplicity one that's a lighter, and then this was a McCall, so it was a darker. And then again, I just did one of the pages here. It's the cabinetry, like if you had sewing cabinets. And I kind of liked this patterns, fabrics, and cutting heading. So we may incorporate that in. And then there's a pocket here with a little bit here. This kind of left a big spread I thought might be fun to decorate together. Oops. And then the very front pocket. So all of the pockets are done. And I'm really glad because it took a long time, and it was much more fiddly than I thought it was going to be. So we are ready now to decorate, and so the next video will be all about starting to make tags and little inserts and all kinds of stuff to put in it, and decorating some of the pockets. We have several things to do still, so it's going to be lots of fun. I hope you come back and join me for the fun part now. So hope you have a great day. Until next time, this is Jenny. Bye.